Hello, you join me here at Aston on the Cross City Line for the third and final episode of my Secrets of the Cross City Line series. In this series, I'm looking at every station on the Cross City Line in Birmingham and delving into some of the facts which you may not have known about. In the last two episodes, we've looked at the Cross City Line from its southern terminuses at Bromsgrove and Redditch all the way up to Aston, whilst we've also looked at the history of the Cross City Line. So do make sure to watch the first two episodes now if you haven't done so already. In this final episode, we're looking at the stations from Aston all the way to the northern termini of Lichfield Trent Valley. So then, it was time to take a train from Aston to the first station in today's video of Gravelly Hill. So yes, you join me here at Gravelly Hill Station, the first station of the video. Now this station is, well, probably is home to the most depressing exit here for sign that I know. The signs here say exit here for Spaghetti Junction. Spaghetti Junction itself, or officially known as the Gravelly Hill Interchange, is a very important junction on Britain's road network. It's the interchange where four roads meet, including roads such as the M6 and A38M, and was constructed in 1972. The interchange is located above two rail lines, 3 canals and 2 rivers, and has 2.5 miles of slip roads, with 13.5 miles of elevated road. The interchange and station itself is also located close to the Salford Canal Junction, where the Thames Valley and Birmingham and Paisley canals meet. The station itself is it's quite nice. It's got step-free access via these long ramps up just here. The station building here is actually really cool. It's the original London North Western Railway building and is on 2 floors. The station frequency here between Aston and Four Oaks is 4 trains an hour in each direction, not on an every 15-minute frequency. It's really annoying. It's every 10 minutes and then every 20 minutes. So you've got a 10-minute gap and a 20-minute gap. And with that, my time at Gravelly Hill was coming to an end, so it was time to take the train to the next station along the line, Erdington. I'm not one to really care about train tones or anything, but I believe that was a depot whistle from that driver there, so thanks, I guess. Pretty cool. Here at Erdington Station, as you may have just seen in that clip, we are pretty close to the airport now. Well, I actually didn't think we were that close, but planes are flying pretty low over here, so we can't be that far away. And as at 7:30, leaves behind me departing for Bromsgrove. We can have a little look at the history of Erdington. Now, the station opened in 1862 by the LMS on their line to Sutton Coldfield. The station was electrified in 1990 as part of the new Cross City Line service and received a new station building in the process, which is still standing to this day. The station itself is pretty basic, although the platforms were extended, I believe, during the electrification. I couldn't get the camera straight, so we're going for the Geoff Marshall lean shot. But yeah, Erdington. The station bridge is the original LMS bridge, the London Midland Scottish Railway, and you can just see to the right of the current railway sign where it says LMS. It's just very faded. If you go back in time on Google Maps, you can see it much more clearly. There's a sculpture at the entrance to one of the platforms, which was made by Ronald Ray and is called the Insect and Celtic Cross. And Erdington Abbey is also nearby to the station. It was built in 1850 and contains war graves of 3 World War I and 2 RAF World War II pilots. The church was designed by Charles Hansom, with the 36-metre long spire also being the entire length of the abbey. Now at this point I left the station to go and film Erdington Abbey, and I didn't realise how close I was cutting it to make my next train. When I say I just about made this train, I mean I just about made this train. Oh, I was too busy
Welcome aboard
filming the shots of the Abbey.
Lichfield Trent
And then it
Valley.
was like, oh, it's in 3 minutes. And I was walking down and I saw it come over the bridge. Sprinted.
Next stop will be Chester Road.
So the next stop, Chester Road. So Chester Road's history is not the most interesting. It actually opened in December 1863, which was a year after the line was first opened to Sutton Coldfield. The station, as with the rest of the line, were rebuilt during the early 1990s to make way for the electrification of the line. When the station was being rebuilt, the original station building was actually dismantled during reconstruction of the station in the early 1990s. So the original London North Western Railway building from 1863 now lies at Market Bosworth Station in the Battlefield Heritage Line in Leicestershire. And probably the weirdest fact is that when West Midlands Railway took over the running of the Cross City Line and the West Midlands franchise, the MPs of this station, Chester Road, they got quite angry about the orange lamppost which you can see behind me. They suggested that they actually took away from the value of the station and made it look a bit ugly. I believe that MP was Andrew Mitchell, whilst the leader of Sutton Coldfield Council and local councillors in the area also put forward their dismay to the orange lampposts, although as you can see they're still here to this day. Anyway, time to go to the next station along the line, literally just a minute down there. The stations around here are really tightly packed together, but Wild Green is the next stop. Not sure I've said it yet, but those 730s are amazing trains. I adore them. Anyway, here at Wild Green, there's two entrances and exits. There's two lots of entrances and exits. Technically there's four for either platform, and I'm on the, what would this be, the northern end of the platform, and there's this really long path which leads to the road bridge over there, as you can just about see, and it is on either side. If I lift my camera up, I can't see while I'm filming. Hopefully it's something plausible. So yeah, I'm just going to walk down to the entrance, maybe cross over the platform, go all the way down the other platform, go under at the other end, and then back up onto the right platform for the next station. But you get to go right alongside the tracks along here, so it's quite nice. Now these are the sort of facts that you can't get on the internet. I would have no clue that this would have been here. This little fact about pollinating insects, and that they actually quite like nettles, garlic mustard and primroses. I don't know that. Although, I mean, looking at this, it doesn't look the prettiest of places, it must be said. Now, if I'm being totally honest, there wasn't a lot to say about Wild Green. It's sort of a nothingy sort of station. But there was something which I read about a fox mural being installed at the station. I couldn't, for the life of me, work out where it was. But if I turn around, ta-da, there it is, the fox mural. Not too sure why it's painted here. It's quite in an out of pocket location, sort of tucked away by the road bridge. Sort of feel bad for it. Not sure if foxes are too present around here, but as a Leicester fan, I always like seeing something fox related. Now the mural was painted by Anatomics for the Friends of Wild Green Station. So yeah, anyway, time to go up the road bridge and down onto the other side of the station. This wasn't on my list of facts, but I mean, come on. I can't not point this out. Look at them. There's some seagulls and a bucket and a spade, and very nice. We need more post boxes like this. Not to be too nerdy, but that's an old George post box, so quite an old one. Here's the entrance to Wild Green. Well, the back entrance, I would say, is sort of nondescript, isn't it? But it looks quite a nice and leafy area along here. But yeah, I'm going to go down to the other platform now. I was wondering if they had anything about bees. There you go. Bees and wasps? Why do we care about wasps? Maybe it'll enlighten me about how wasps are actually good. Apex predators who clean up the environment to control population of pest species. Wow, there you go. Won't stop me hating them, but maybe they're not as bad as we all thought. You know what, this station is far more interesting than I actually thought. I was speaking to a lady here who must live in the area about the the Friends of Wild Green Station. She said usually it's really, really nice, but apparently it's West Midlands Railway or Network Rail who are doing some work. So they don't know if it's electrical work or water work, some sort of mains works, which means that they've sort of had to demolish the gardens which I was just walking past. I've just noticed this post box over here. There must be a running theme around this. This area is really nice actually, look at this. A nice memorial to those who we lost in the wars. Next station along the line, Sutton Coldfield. So yes, let's talk about Sutton Coldfield. The station opened in 1862 as the original terminus of the London and North Western Railway line from Birmingham, which was extended to Lichfield in 1884. The station is the location of the Sutton Coldfield railway disaster, which occurred in 1955, when an express York to Bristol service derailed, killing 17 people, with a memorial plaque being unveiled in 2016. Originally, when cross-city line services began from 1978, the station was going to be demolished and completely rebuilt, but was thankfully saved by campaigners, and the station underwent a refurbishment in 2003. The town itself is a royal one, and is part of the historic county of Warwickshire before becoming part of the West Midlands, following the Local Government Act of 1972. The actual royal status of the town was given by Henry VIII in 1582. The station itself is located nearby to Grace Church Shopping Centre and is also the gateway to Sutton Park, one of Europe's largest urban parks with heathland, woodlands and large lakes. The park itself was originally a medieval deer park granted to the people of Sutton Coldfield by Henry VIII, who also gave the town its royal status. The park has a railway line running through it called the Sutton Park Line, which currently is a freight-only line, linking Walsall to Castle Bromwich and Water Orton. The line had passenger services until 1965 and had two stations in Sutton Coldfield, including Sutton Coldfield Park Station, which closed in 1965, and Sutton Coldfield Town Station, which closed in 1925. Currently, the modern-day Sutton Coldfield Station is the only railway station in Sutton Coldfield. Now though, it's time to jump on a train to the next station along the line, Four Oaks. So welcome to Four Oaks, where half of the Cross City Line trains currently terminate. So 2 trains an hour terminate here and then go off towards Redditch, and then the other 2 continue on that platform there towards their journey to Lichfield, and that's where I need to change platform now for the first time so far in today's video. There really isn't a lot to say about Four Oaks, but the fact it's one of just 5 stations on the Cross City Line to have 3 or more platforms. The station also was originally the terminus of the Cross City Line when services first commenced, before they were finally extended towards Lichfield in 1988. It's time now to go to the next station though, of Butler's Lane. You join me out the front of platform 2 at Butler's Lane, and it has the steepest ramp I think I've ever seen at a station. Now thankfully it does say no step-free access to the platforms, because look at that, it is, I don't even know why it's there. It must be there for bikes or something, but yeah, you really do not want to be trying to get a wheelchair down that, or a pushchair or anything. So you join me here at Butler's Lane station. Now here at Butler's Lane, the station actually wasn't an original station on the line. It opened much later in 1957 as a temporary wooden station to coincide with the introduction of new diesel trains on the line to Lichfield, and it was originally known as Butler's Lane Halt. So an increase in service frequency meant that they wanted to open some new stations on the line, including here, to try and promote passenger growth. By 1978, the station was served by services on the Cross City Line past New Street, and the platforms were rebuilt in 1991 to coincide with the electrification of the line, with it also being given a station building. The station is the closest to Four Oaks Park, which is just on the border of Sutton Park, and it is nearby to Mere Green, which is home to a shopping park. Apart from that, there's not too much else near here, but it does seem like a pretty nice leafy area of Birmingham. So that's about it for Butler's Lane. Next station is Blake Street, and that is the last station in the West Midlands. After that, we go into Shenstone and into Lichfield, which are actually in Staffordshire. Well, welcome to the last station in this video in the West Midlands. We're here at Blake Street Station. What is there to say about Blake Street? Well, the actual station, not a lot. Trains do have the ability to terminate at this station, and they did actually used to before COVID. There were a few peak time services which terminated here. There's a crossover just over there, I believe. The station is situated very close to the Aston Woods Golf, and is also near to Hill Hook Nature Reserve and the Mill Pond, and that is exactly where I'm going to now. Well, I must say, it's quite pretty. It is a nice view, a very nice pond. There's lots of birds and ducks and things, and my train is very soon. It's Hill Nook Nature Reserve and Mill Pond. My train's in 7 minutes, and according to Google, it's a 6-minute walk back. So I need to go and get on my train to Shenstone. So let me speed walk back to Blake Street. Hello, just outside of Shenstone Station. Now this place is sort of in the middle of nowhere, and there's not too much to say about it, except that it opened in 1884, and the village or town of Shenstone used to be home to the Norton Motorcycle Company, which I believe are quite a big motorcycle company. But now the site is home to a drone company who have sold some of their drones to Israel, so they've come under quite a lot of scrutiny from the people here at Shenstone who protest outside for the support of Palestine and against the selling of drones made in Shenstone to Israel. But yeah, there's really not much to say about Shenstone except it's gorgeous station building over there. I mean, look at that, very pretty. And the fact that, yeah, it's just very quaint, quiet, nice. Station does have this really cool, what is it, a kingfisher maybe bird mural. It seems to be made by the same people, it seems to be the same design as the fox at Wild Green. So maybe, who are they, Amatronics? I can't remember the name of the company, but maybe they made this mural as well here at Shenstone. Anyway, now it's time to head over to Lichfield. We're going to go to Lichfield City first, and then end the video at Lichfield Trent Valley. So yes, you join me here at the penultimate station on the Cross City line, Lichfield City. Now, it opened in 1849 by the South Staffordshire Railway and was resited to the current site in 1884. There was a former line to Walsall, although this closed in 1984, though a section still remains open for services from Lichfield City to Anglesey sidings, not in Wales. In June 1990, the station was hit by an IRA attack, with one soldier, William Davies, being killed and 2 others being injured. There's a plaque at the station which commemorates the soldiers who were injured and killed in the attack. If passing through Lichfield City Station, do keep an eye out for the 60 wheel trim art installation, which has been installed by the Friends of Lichfield City Station, Lichfield Little Legends and Lichfield Kindness Rocks organisation. There does seem to be this building here, which is a Mr. Tyre building. That looks somewhat railway-like. It looks old enough to be part of the railway. And just there is the station building. I believe the original platform was actually just next to the station building before it was resited to where it is today. The railway station is actually pretty close to the city centre and is also directly opposite to the bus station. The city of Lichfield itself is home to the only cathedral in England which has 3 spires and is nicknamed the Ladies of the Vale. The city also has over 230 listed buildings in the city centre and is the birthplace of Erasmus Darwin, grandfather of Charles Darwin and a founding member of the Lunar Society. Samuel Johnson was also born here, most famous for being the first person to compile an English dictionary. The name Lichfield itself comes from the name Leto Cetum, which means grey wood, and is probably called that because there were ash or elm trees which dominated the area. Now though, it's time to go to the final station in today's video and in the series, Lichfield Trent Valley. The station is of course quite famously a split level station. There's quite a lot in the West Midlands and quite a lot in this area. Actually Tamworth, one of the next stations down the line, is another split level station. This station opened in 1871, but a previous station nearby opened in 1847. The high level platforms where I am now were actually closed in 1965, but they were reopened in 1988 as part of the Cross City line, and they were rebuilt with there originally being actually 2 platforms on this high level, because as you can see there, the line does continue towards Burton and Derby, and there is an old signal box down there. That line is still in use, but only for freight and 1 or 2 cross-country trains which use the line per day for route knowledge. But I believe during diversions, cross-country do use this line. But this platform, platform 3, has had quite a lot of work recently, including the fact that the bridge has been completely rebuilt, as you can see here, due to it being on pretty weak supports beforehand. There are lifts, there is step-free access, and as you can see there are the West Coast mainline platforms. Services are provided by London North Western towards London, Euston and Crewe, although Van to West Coast do stop some services here. Now, the station buildings, which dated back from the 1970s and 80s, were replaced here in 2014 by a more modern building. And there was an old signal box which survived on the West Coast Main Line until 2008 during the West Coast Main Line modernisation period. Talk about the West Coast Main Line, here's an Avero train. But yeah, the tracks were completely relaid, and that meant the signal box had to be destroyed to increase line speeds and increase frequency of Virgin train services. There have been quite a few rare accidents here, including in 1946, where one of the only recorded incidents of an interlocking points failure led to the deaths of people. 20 people died when a fish train crashed into a stationary train on the platform. The station is 1 mile north-east of Lichfield city centre and 6 miles from the River Trent. But that's about it for facts at Lichfield Trent Valley, and that also concludes the whole 3-part Secrets of the Cross City Line mini-series. I hope you've enjoyed this mini-series. If you have, please do smash like and smash subscribe, and let me know in the comments what I should do the secrets of next. In the meantime, special thanks to all my YouTube and Patreon members, including my first class members Aaron Barry and Crispin McKee, my business zone members Andrew Bowen, Anthony Harris, Anthony James Moore, ARK, Connor Grieg, Clive Travel and Trains, Craig Mitchell 43, Dave CDF, Gordon Walker, J Teco, JBNEL, Lewis C21, NJTE, Real, Scott Wheeler, That Transport Girl and Will Ho, as well as all my standard premium and standard class members. You can get your name on this list from as little as £2.99 a month, or join from as little as 99p a month. Once joining, you'll get access to exclusive perks such as members only videos, as well as early access to all my videos. Once again, thanks so much for watching this video, I really hope you've enjoyed. Do like, subscribe, check out my Discord server, and follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky. See you next time, goodbye.